program and control. As a small biz pro, that's how we grow. Using procurement, program and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Business Zone with
Crystal
and Coach Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. It looks like we're having some still shots going on there, Coles.
Can you
But
see me?
yeah, I can see, but are we getting these little still shots? Like, you see that going on in the background?
Okay.
What the heck is
You got
that?
some distortion happening on the back of your on yours.
Oh, so yours is pretty smooth then, right? On your
Yeah,
side? Okay.
it's all about the lighting. You know that,
Oh,
right?
okay. So, folks, we're going to have a great show today. We're going to have class in session. We haven't had that in a long time. So, we're going to have a class. We're going to teach you guys about some loan readiness and a checklist of documents you guys need to have. And we'll take your questions. Put some questions in the chat for us. We'll be happy to answer it because I am with the forensic specialist here, my co-host, Crystal Mitchell, who knows everything about bookkeeping, everything about accounting and finance. So ask your questions away, guys.
Yeah, boy. And here's the thing, Gilbert. We're 6 months into as of yesterday, 6 months into the year. So as I've been
Yes.
telling my clients, if you have not met your forecast, hopefully you've set up a forecast for the full year. So you should be halfway in to that magic number that you've actually set for yourself. So if you haven't, then it's time to rethink some stuff because you got 6 more months. And as fast as this first 6 months went, in fact, you'll blink and the summer will be over and December will be here. And at that point, it is too late to be worrying about whatever you forecast for 2022. You should at 2023. You at that point would be working on 2024.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, you got to put that plan in place, guys. Got to put that plan in place.
Right. I think I've had that conversation all week long today with the clients that I did meet with. And we went through their financial statements because you got to do that 6 months checkup, right?
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, I'm not on target. Okay, well then when I meet with you guys again after the summer, I need you to be on target. I need you guys to be, making sure you increasing your volume so that you can be on target for the end of the year. So today we're going to talk about, so if some of your issues is that you don't have enough capital, which, that's one of the components, but that's not all of the formula, but that is one of the formulas for some of you that are doing business. So we're going to talk about what that looks like and how, what you need to have in place to be loan ready. So that's important for every business. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So, but before we do that, we're going to jump into how was your week,
Oh
co-host?
man, my week. How was my week? I do
Yeah,
silly.
it
I
went by
got
so
woke up
fast you
on
forgot.
Tuesday. Oh my Lord. There are so many things going on, co-host. So many things, man. It's unbelievable. So I did a workshop for Vermont Slauson on Tuesday. And
Okay.
we did it's a 6-class series where we do contract readiness. And I went over some stuff with them. And then on Tuesday, I did a recap. So we went over the key documents that a business need to run their business. Went over that. Went over contract readiness. We did an assessment and also did elevator pitch throughout the process. And of course, my elevator pitch strategies are different than anyone else out there in the marketplace.
Okay.
So, uh, so the way I walk them through the elevator pitch, man, it's like, oh my Lord, that's how you do it. All these other things, because you take the elevator pitch, you divide it into 4 sections, and
Yeah.
then that's how you present it.
That's how I
So
teach mine. That's how
yeah,
we teach the kids.
yeah,
It's in a four-parter. So
exactly.
we have a lot of eyes on us today, Gilbert. So we have the AKAs, which is a sorority in Los Angeles.
Oh, great.
I'm going to be speaking tomorrow. So right now we've got about 18 people watching from YouTube. From
Oh,
what
really? How come I don't see them?
it's up at the top. You can't see them, but I can see that they're coming in. And I
Oh,
had just sent them over information because we're going to make an announcement very, very shortly about me speaking this Saturday, June 3rd at their event. But we're going to talk about what they're kicking off, an initiative that they're kicking off this month. So when we
right.
finish talking about what we're talking about, we're going to jump into them. So welcome, guys, if you're watching from YouTube. Glad to have you. Now, what we're going to ask you while you're here, since we're at this time of the show, right over there at the very top of the YouTube channel, if that's where you're watching it from, is a link that you can subscribe. This is the place you want to be on every Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock. Gilbert and I, between the both of us, and I'm going to tell our age, we got about 30 years of experience as business coaches. And so you can go into our archive of shows. We've been on the air as of July 8th, 7 years. So we're excited about that. We've been consistent about it. But here's the best part. You get our coaching for free because there's so many class and sessions there like the one today. So if you are in business and you're wanting to make sure that your business is going to be successful, you really truly want to go over there and hit that subscribe button, because we will make sure that you are business ready, contract ready, loan ready, market ready, every kind of readiness to be in business that you need to be in. We're going to make sure you're going to be there. It's done with love, sometimes tough love, but it's done with love.
That's right. That's right. That's
So
right.
that's what we're doing. And as business owners we both have had our businesses for numerous of years, but it's very important and a passion of Gilbert and I to make sure that our community are doing business the proper way. And this is the way you do it. This is the only way you can grow a business, scale a business, even think your thought process of starting a business has to be on point from the moment that the idea germinates in your head. You got to go out. I'm going to come out with my best foot, and I'm going to make sure that this business is going to be successful. So that's what we're asking you to do. Hit that subscribe button so that you can get notified every time we come on air. Anything you'd like to add, co-host?
Well, I am excited about the uh,
Co-
Black Dollar segment that we're going to cover today, because our audience, our viewers, they need to know and understand black money. They need to understand how how impactful it is, how it works, how they're impacted by it, how the community is impacted by it. So yeah, we're going to be providing you guys some data that's going to be really, really exciting. And maybe it will build a consciousness that most of you start thinking differently about entrepreneurship and the community.
and in the climate that we're in today, Gilbert, it is no longer an option. It's a mandatory request.
That's
It's
right.
actually a mandatory obligation that we have to our, not just us, but not just to our business community, but to the children that are coming behind us. And so it is our it's a mandatory obligation, I think, as people of color, Black people, to support each other and operate in solidarity. But more importantly, is to support each other's businesses so we can increase the economic empowerment of our people. So that's why it's so important, guys. So that's our soapbox today. But before we do that, guess what's coming up, Gilbert, in 2 weeks for me?
In 2 weeks,
It's June.
you have a presentation, right?
It's June, and it's summertime. And
And
what
June. And Juneteenth.
Juneteenth. But what do I do throughout the summer?
Oh, the biz camp and the
Camp, right? We have this camp coming up,
biz
guys.
camp.
Oh, and Gilbert, we've been interviewing kids all week,
Oh yeah.
and oh, these kids are phenomenal, man. So we have probably close to 45 kids that are registered. We did our orientation on Wednesday. Kids are excited to get started. We're excited. It's going to be in person this year, live and in color. And we're,
Oh, love it, love
I
it.
know. So we're going to be working with the kids hands on hand, but they're so excited about it. And we did something a little bit different this year. We've asked those who are just coming up with an idea, we asked them to create an idea that they could create a business that would they could be vendors or suppliers for
Mhm.
the upcoming World Cup that's coming in
Oh,
2026.
2020, the World Cup is, yeah, World Cup is 2026 and the Olympics is 2028.
So we told them we want them to be prepared to prepare a business that they can actually participate in that space. And because when the World Cup comes, there's going to be over 4 million people in and around Inglewood because it's going to be held at the SoFi.
Wow, I would love that, man. I would love to see
Yeah,
what you come up with.
so we're going to, I think you already set up for some dates. I think Miss Rhonda already set you up with some stuff, didn't she?
Oh yes, oh yes. So I
Okay,
can't
cool.
wait.
Awesome. So that's what I've been working on all this week is getting ready because it's kicking off on June 12th. And so we're excited this year and we'll see what that looks like. So you everyone that has something to contribute to these babies, we are all asking you all to reach out to us and find out how you can volunteer and mentor and coach or be a judge. And so we have 2 cohorts, one starting June 12th to the 30th, and then the second cohort is July 12th to the 27th. So really, really excited.
Interesting. I can't wait for that. As I know this is your special time of the year, co-host. This is when you get into your coaching mode and your support mode and mentorship mode, man. Get these small businesses ready. Because the competition is going to be when, in July, or when is it?
Well, there's 2 competitions. They get one at the end of June, and then
Yeah,
they get another one at the end of July. So we have 2 competitions.
beautiful,
For these amazing kids. So
beautiful, man.
that's what we're looking forward to. So that's so for the next couple of weeks, for the next couple of months, I'm off. That's
You're
my
in the
where my
worker bee mode,
I'm in the youth entrepreneurship
huh?
coaching mode, man. So
Yeah, I
my
hear you.
adults that happen to get caught up in this, it probably would behoove you to schedule in August because I ain't joking for June and July.
And folks, this is no disrespect to you, but we just want to let you guys know, those of you who are small and micro business owners, you're entrepreneurs, we want to let you know that some of these kids, entrepreneurs that my co-host Crystal is coaching, a lot of them are performing better than adult entrepreneurs. They understand their material, they know their business, they know their numbers, and I'm so excited and impressed by these kids, man.
Awesome. All righty. So we got a lot to cover. We're going to do the piece on the power of the black dollar. But before we do that, and then we're going to go into our checklist on financials and how to be financially loan ready because it's important. That's part of doing business, right? So I got a little something to share here. So, guys, I have been honored, and I'm kind of excited about it. It was an honor that I was asked. Let me get rid of this little piece right here. I was asked to speak on behalf of Recycling Black Dollars to the what happened to my little thing here? It was a little short one.
That's it,
But
man.
I was
The
asked to
video.
speak for the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, and they're asking me to speak on my most favorite subject next to the children is recycling black dollars. And so they're kicking off an initiative and I'm going to share it right now so that you guys can follow along with us. They're kicking off an initiative for all of their chapters. Their goal is to collectively spend $8 million in 1 month, highlighting different industries where you can funnel your dollars to Black owned businesses. And so they
Mm-hmm.
reached out to us, me being the co director of Recycling Black Dollars. And so I'm going to be speaking on June 3rd, and speaking on that topic. So you guys know how I feel about that, right? Because
Oh,
the
yeah.
way we are going to build our economic wealth is through entrepreneurship. Gilbert and I talk about this all the time. And so they have a full schedule. They're going to have happy hours. They're going to be, but their topics are going to be about recycling and supporting Black businesses. On June 23rd, they're going to purchase Black owned products and brands at Walmart. Patty's Good Life Foods, and Miss Jessie's Products and Glam at Target. And they're going to be supporting a business called Jam's Creamery on La Brea in Manchester. They're going to do a yoga class with a Black-owned business instructor, and they're going to be having a happy hour at the townhouse. And on June 15th, they're going to be going over to the Black Beverly Hills corridor, Angeles Vista, shopping and dining at La Louisiane restaurant for chicken, red beans, and rice. So they are putting their money where their mouth is, right?
Hey,
And
I
they are
hear that.
going
I
to
hear that.
support Black-owned businesses, because that is the only way we as a community are going to change our current status. So
I
I
love
am
it. I love
honored.
it.
I'm honored. I'm
I
honored.
love it, co-host. I love it. It's about time they recognize you.
And they have a really cute t-shirt that they're going to be wearing during this time, so let me share that. So let me get back over here to my share screen. They're going to be their slogan for this month is Black dollars, wear pink, spend green, buy Black.
Oh, say that again. Say that again.
That right? Black Dollar Days, and this is for the month of June. Their goal is to raise $8 million or spend $8 million with Black-owned businesses throughout. This is all of their chapters,
Mm-hmm.
and they're going to wear. Their slogan is "Wear pink, spend green, buy Black." I
That's
love it. I
amazing.
love it. I love it. So I
That's
am
amazing,
excited.
man.
I am excited about this whole initiative, because this is what it takes. It takes us being deliberate about our Black dollars. That's what it
Yeah,
takes. We can't just keep talking it. We got to all of our organizations have to set up deliberate initiatives that say this is what we're going to do and why we're
right,
going to do it.
right. Love it, man. Love it. Love it. And the best ambassador to handle that is you. You are the best ambassador. So more power to you, my co-host. Just go ahead and just do the darn thing. That's
Do the
what you do.
darn thing. So in honor of them, we're going to just quickly gotta go through this, because Gilbert and I, this is his favorite subject, and he loves this one as much as I do.
All
So if
right.
we want respect, the best way I know to get respect is let your dollars do the talking for you.
That's what I'm talking about. And
So
and and I want to say a few things about this, folks. For those of you who are listening, you're just tuning in, whether you're on Facebook, you're on YouTube, you're on LinkedIn, or whichever platform you're on watching this show right now. I want you guys to know that we on the Business Zone, we can really help you to get your business readiness in order. We can show you what documents you need to run your business. We can get your business ready so you can participate in some of this black dollar earning and also the circulation of the black dollars in our community. So don't overlook the Business Zone. We are here for you in the community, guys. How many of you know consultants like us who are dedicated to you 24/7 will do whatever we need to do to get you to the forefront of your industry in the marketplace. How many do you know? If you know any other than us, put it in the chat. Put it in the chat.
or reach out to us so that we can talk about, we can just find out who they are, and
Yeah,
we will work with them. We want to
yeah.
make sure you guys you are ready and prepared. So here's some startling facts, and this is very important. This is why this is so important. So when we talk about community dollars, and this is why what I think the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, the AKAs, is so important, why this initiative is so important. So in our community, the Asian dollar turns over 28 times. The Jewish dollar turns over, what happened to mine? The Jewish dollar turns over 19 times. The Latin dollar turns over 14 times. The white dollar turns over unlimited amount of times. But when
Mm-mm-mm.
we get down to us, our dollar turns over 6 hours in our community. We have to
Mm-mm-mm.
change that. It cannot look like this. In
That
order to
means that means, guys, if you get paid at noon, by 6 o'clock, the dollar is gone.
right. So these initiatives should, I'm a challenge every organization out there, every to do this same thing that the AKAs are doing. Challenge your membership to support the Black dollars, making sure Black businesses are being supported. Now, when I first got involved with RBD, I was, as everyone does, why is this number so low, right?
Yeah.
So why is this number so low? A lot of times the feedback I would get when I asked that question was because, they go to a Black business and the experience wasn't at the premium. And so
Yeah.
therefore they would not come back to support them. So
Yeah.
that is why we're here. That's why the business zone is here. That's why Gilbert and I are here. That's why all of our colleagues that are out there that are business coaches that are representing organizations, Vermont Slauson Economic Development Center, the Los Angeles Urban League, GLAC, the Greater Los Angeles Chamber of Greater
African
African
American Chamber.
American Chamber of Commerce, all the other chambers. That's why we're here. We provide free coaching to you through those organizations. There's no excuse that you cannot be operating business properly. So let us eliminate that excuse and that complaint. And you guys, as business owners, jump out there and come over to us to find out how you can do business better, because we got to increase that number.
Yes.
We have to increase that number. Hell, Gilbert, I'll take 24 hours.
24 hours will be a great improvement from the 6 hours, man.
So here's another fact that should hit you guys pretty at home. How much money African Americans are spending on products and services throughout the country. We have more than 37 million Black people in America, and we're basically spending $1 trillion in value annually. But that does not come back into our community. We
Wow.
are supporting every other community out there, and we're raising their economic value, but our economic value decreases every single day.
Means we got to learn to build our own house. Can't be building other people's houses and not building ours.
True that, man. So our money's going to anybody and everybody that doesn't look like us. It goes into the hands of non-African Americans who do not necessarily have an interest in employing our people, buying our products, servicing our businesses, nor are they interested in investing money in our businesses, our schools, our organizations. Right?
Yeah.
They do it based upon force, but that $1 trillion would and should give us a lot more value than we have.
Yeah.
So
We
very,
talked. We
very
talked the
important.
other day, co-host. You and I talked the other day about this video that we saw on YouTube about why Asian entrepreneurs like to open up shop in our communities because
Right.
it looks like a gold mine for them, right?
We're a gold mine. We're a gold mine for everybody, except for us. So, and so this one is near and dear to my heart. We have to focus on owning large scale media companies,
Yeah.
financial services firms,
Yeah.
private equity firms,
Yep.
hedge funds,
Yep.
investment banks, construction companies.
Mm-hmm.
We have to work on employing millions of our people so that we can create wealth.
Yeah.
We, in order to get a fair fair access to ownership, which is denied to us and has been denied to us for generations,
Mm-hmm.
we have to be the ones to employ our people.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, for a stronger economic position in this country, we have to make sure that we're supporting us first and everybody else afterwards. Because,
Yeah.
really, you have to stop and think about it. Why would anybody support you if you're not going to support your own self?
That's right.
Right. So the key to jump starting a our community is to create a healthy, vibrant Black community of entrepreneurship. So important. We need more enterprises to move out of the small business category. We're always talking about that, into the middle market business category. And Gilbert can tell you more about that, which is defined at least $50 million in annual revenue. And entrepreneurs must target sectors that have extra uh, what is it? I can't even spell this. Get the word out of
Ex-
my mouth.
Exponential.
Exponential growth potential to create jobs and wealth for ourselves, investors, and possibly and hire employees that look like us and
And
make mandates.
co-host, I want to address this slide a little bit, okay?
Okay.
Because you and I together, we have over 60 years of experience,
Yeah.
in the industry, in multiple industries, working with small businesses, working with nonprofits, working with government agencies and others. And for some reason, entrepreneurs in our community, they seem to be looking to other people to help them build their business and get them ready so they can go after contracts. They're overlooking us, because they seem to believe that someone from the other group, their ice is much colder than ours. So therefore, they're going to go to that group, which is a myth.
Right.
That's a fallacy that's been going on in our community for years and years and years now. We are stars in what we do. We're super consultants. We can take these businesses, we can coach them, get them ready, get them to the table so they can seek out these contract opportunities. Now, we understand that many entrepreneurs, they don't know much about procurement and contracts, so they get afraid and they don't know what to do. That's why we're here, to hold your hands and guide you through that process. There's no other group or of consultants that's going to help you guys and help you grow, holding your hands and guide you through the process. So that's why we are here. We no longer want you guys to do just transactional business. We want you guys to do contractual business. A transaction business means the person comes in today, they may not come back tomorrow or next week or next month, but with a contract, that contract is good for a year, maybe 3 years, maybe 5 years. Now you, with that money encumbered to you and your business, you can go out and start hiring more people in the community, grow the community, help those people with income for their families, and while you grow. So that's what we're talking about, guys. That's what this is all about.
Yes, that's exactly right. We're really here. It's important. It's important not just for this generation, it's truly important for our next generation. So we need you guys to really believe in what you're doing. We need to help our businesses grow. We need you to commit. So there are 4 ways you can reinvest in your Black community. One is actually invest. So buy life insurance plans from Black agents and open Black bank investment funds with Black banks. Find Black businesses and spend money with them, just like the uh, sorority is doing this for the month of June. The AKAs, they're making a commitment. They've established a goal. They're going out to businesses that are within their community, and they're going to support those businesses. They're going to patronize African American business owners. They're going to support each other that have businesses within their chapters. So I'm going to challenge all the others. You got the Deltas out there, you got the Kappas, which is the
The
sororities and
fraternity, the
fraternities.
fraternity.
So everybody should be doing this.
You know, I applaud the AKAs for doing this. I really applaud them. And you know, and like you say, co-host, you would like to see other groups following the footsteps of that. However, we also want to see our small businesses prepare themselves to operate professionally and high level. I want you to operate like a big business, not just like a small mom and pop entity where you just think that you should make only 100,000 a year, so you don't put the effort in your paperwork, in your back office, all of that. You need to be ready. So when these organizations come to you, they will respect you and want to do business with you, not just to support you because you're Black. No, you want to differentiate yourself from the stragglers. That's what this is all about, guys.
Mhm.
Entrepreneurship is dog eating dog. So if you don't want to be eaten, then you got to get ready, prepare yourself, and you will do the eating. Now, if you don't know anyone who can help you, that's what we're here for on the Business Zone. My co-host Crystal and I, we will help you guys to be ready so that these groups, such as the AKA, the Kappas, all of those Gammas, all of those groups, they will respect you and want to do business. That's all we're saying, guys. That's all we're
Right.
saying.
So, because there's a lot of people that are out there that really want to support you, but we need you to up your game so that they will come in and have a great shopping experience. And as everyone that's a successful business owner knows, that your most valuable customer is that customer that returns
Yeah,
over and over and
yeah.
over and over. And not only are they a reoccurring customer, they are an ambassador for your brand, for your company, and they're going out telling everyone that they know that they should support your business. So that's where the onus is on you as the business owner, and the onus is on our community for us to support you. So raise your game up, guys. Then the other thing that you can do to reinvest is stay at a Black owned hotel. I just had this conversation with friends of mine that as Black organizations, we need to be having our events at Black hotels, not making the other hotels, non African American hotels, rich. We need to be finding ours. So for
Do
those
we
of
do we know of any Black owned hotels, co-hosts? Do we know of
Well,
any?
interesting enough, Tanya Mackey, I was talking to her. She feels that there's one in Beverly Hills. I'm going to do my research because I just found this out the other day. But there's actually an association called the National Association of Black Hotel Owners. It's called
Mm.
nabhood.net, and you can find hotels in 30 states and one district nationwide.
You know, I think we need to bring those folks on the Business Zone, man, so they can talk about the business, the hotel association, and how they operate and where they operate, because not too many people know they exist.
I know. So I think so. So let's look in the fall, past the summertime. I'll look and see how we can get a hold of somebody that can actually come in and give us some conversation and educate us on that they even exist.
Yeah.
And then number 4 is consider entrepreneurship, starting a business that has the potential to scale. Not a little bitty tiny t-shirt business, not a one line lip gloss business, not something that cannot grow and scale.
And I also want to say this, co-host. Just remember this, guys. When you're starting a business, okay? When you're starting about a business, you want to think about it. What is it you're trying to do? A business is about finding a pain in the marketplace and solving that pain. And you got to solve that pain better than your competitors. So identify what that pain is. Everybody's selling t-shirts, so that's not really solving a pain per se. You want to find out, and one pain you guys can think about is, okay, there are four major cell phone companies out there. They control the market. We hate them. The prices are too high. So if you can come up with something where your fees are a little less and you can reach out to consumers like us and solve that pain point that we have, which is cost is too high for cell phone services. They, when you sign up, the minutes that they promise you is not the minutes you end up with. If you can solve those pain, those are real pain in the marketplace, guys. So that's a business you may want to think of. That's an example.
There you go. So those are the ways. So we want everyone to take the initiative to really look at supporting. We're going to do our part. Gilbert and I are going to do our part. We're going to
Yeah.
continue to coach and train and mentor and handhold the businesses to make sure that they're operating up to par, so that you can support them. We need the community to go out to do their part. Excuse me. And that part is to support those businesses, and we need our organizations to follow and lead with the AKAs, this particular branch. We need you to follow in and lead with them, and you too have a month or time that you're dedicating to supporting Black owned businesses. So this particular organization is the, as I said, the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, which is a part of the Alpha Gamma Omega chapter. And they're a premier organization. They have been in business. They have been organized for 115 years. They value their service programs, which especially those that are in our community. They provide scholarships, supporting other programs, education, health, finance, global impact, uplifting our community, social justice, and families, just to name a few. So we want to give them our kudos. I am most honored to be asked to speak tomorrow at their event. And I want you guys to, next time you guys see the ladies in pink and green, give them a thumbs up, because they are putting their money where their mouth is, and they are committed to their community. So
I,
thank
I
you
am
guys.
glad. I am very glad they chose you, co-host, because you, to me, are the best choice. You know, I know quite a few people, and we say this every week on the show, and I need to say it more so people can understand. We know the rules of marketing. You know, you got to hear a thing. Consumers got to hear a message at least 7 times before they start paying attention. So we're going to keep saying this over and over on the Business Zone until people hear it and understand. My co-host during the COVID pandemic in 2020 was the first and only person who decided to go out in the community, form a community briefing platform to inform folks in the community about COVID, about what they need to do, what they need to avoid in order for that pandemic not to impact our people. I don't see anyone else doing that. You got all these television stations, radio stations, none of them was doing that. Guess who did that, folks? My co-host, Crystal Mitchell. Okay? She's the only one who did that, and she's still running that platform. Every Thursday from 11 to 12, guys, you got to check her out. And I'm sure that's how she got this gig to speak at this event on Saturday. So, you know, co-host, more power to you, man. Keep on doing that. Keep on doing
Thank you, Gilbert. I appreciate you. I just love my community. So
it. Yeah.
whatever it takes to make sure, I just want to make sure that we get information firsthand, and we're not getting information um, behind the scenes when it doesn't when it's no longer relevant for us. It's so important that we get it in real time. And so that's what I do. I bring our leaders and stakeholders to talk about what's going on in our community in real time. Thank you, Jessica.
Yeah, one of our ardent listeners, Jai Jai got soul, said Crystal Mitchell is amazing and such an inspirational person. So that is true, guys. I'm not just patting her on the shoulder. I'm not just giving her flowers just because I know her. She's my co-host. We've known each other for all these years, and she's been phenomenal to me. She's phenomenal to other small businesses too. Because see, Jessica is giving her props too. Jessica is giving her some flowers here. She's saying, "Hey, Crystal is amazing," and I endorse that.
Well, thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'm so glad. Thank you, Jessica, and thank you for joining the community briefing this week. So, wow, that was cool. So again, guys, we have to be committed to our own community, so others will be also committed to our community. If we're not showing that commitment, why would anybody else show that commitment?
That's right. And believe me, guys, I could have gone to any other community to provide my service because I was previously the procurement chairman for the California Hispanic Chambers of Commerce. Right? I did that for 3 years, from 2015 to 2018. I am currently the procurement chairman for the Hispanic Coalition of Small Businesses in the Inland Empire, guys. And there are other organizations who bring me in to help their small businesses as well. But I want to be committed to our Black community as well. We want to get them ready. We want to put them in front of contract providers so that they can get contract opportunities as well. But we got to prepare you guys. We can't just send you blind in front of contract providers and say, hey, I want you to give contracts to these small businesses. No, it doesn't work that way. You got to demonstrate that your value proposition can solve their pain in the marketplace. That's really what this is about. And that's why my co-host and I, Crystal, we are here to prepare you guys. So this is all we can do for you. We can take you to the water. We can't make you drink it. Okay.
True that. True that. True that, co-host. So before we go into our what our topic is today is uncovering the facts for loan readiness. And it's a checklist that you're going to provide. I am going to share because I'm not the only one here that's super, 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 super talented. Mr. Gilbert Buchanan, Coach Buchanan, he has a tool here that will keep you in compliance, help you manage your business like a professional, like a CEO, head of a Fortune 500 company. And so we're going to share his product with you because it's an awesome product, and we need you to reach out to him so that you can start operating your business just like any other CEO. Elon Musk, maybe a little bit better. But so we're going to share that, and then we're going to jump into our topic today. So here we go. Let me get the share going first, and then
have a tool that organizes your company's paperwork and takes care of all your
it's gonna play. Let's play.
Looks like it's buffering.
record keeping. Does your current record keeping system send you 90-day alerts to
Nah, come on. Oh, come on. Usually it plays.
I know.
you that your key documents are about to expire and need to be renewed?
Yeah.
What's going on with this buffering? We probably need to talk to our streamer, which is Restream.
Actually, it's probably my serving company, which is Spectrum.
Oh, okay.
They must have slowed everything down. So anyway, we'll put the link in the chat, and then you guys can go over and check it out. But the small business, you can tell them about it, Gilbert.
Yeah, definitely, guys. This platform, amazing platform. If you're an entrepreneur, you're not quite sure what documents you need to run your business, this platform can help you with that. All you have to do is go to the home page, scroll down to the middle of the page. You'll see 4 orange buttons. You click on the one that says business readiness, and it will walk you through. It will tell you the documents you need. It's going to ask you questions about each document. So, walking you through having a business plan, your business license, your permits, your insurance, your Dun and Bradstreet number, your federal tax ID number, the documents you need, such as a business plan, a marketing plan, your capability statement, all your certifications, all of those things can be uploaded in the system and set up in such a way that you can access them in 6 seconds or less. 6 seconds or less, wherever you are in the world, guys. If you need a document, you can use your smartphone, log into the system, Small Biz Pro, and access those documents on the spot, which make you a more viable option to contract providers, to banks, to strategic partners if you want to partner with another entity. So you can demonstrate to them that you know what you're doing and what you're saying. That's what this is, and that's just some of the resources that you guys can access through Small Biz Pro. You want grants, you want contracts, it's in the system. So, guys, go out and check it out. I'm going to put the link in the chat right now so you can check it out, okay?
All righty. Okay, so we are ready to talk about our topic today. Gilbert, pretty much all the grants are gone
Yeah.
that were out there for small business. There's a few of them left here and there, but more for very specific entities like the
Mhm.
restaurant industry, which is taking a little longer time to recover. But so now people are back to, if they need actual capital for their businesses, they have to apply and they have to qualify for loans in order to do that. So we know historically that has been a problem within our community. So we're going to address today some of the issues that are out there for your small business when it comes to acquiring loans for your business. So,
Definitely, definitely.
and why do they need loans for their business? Can they function without one?
Nope, can't function. You need some cash. You need access to cash, guys. They say using other people's money to grow your business. That's what that's all about.
Right, exactly. And when you get to that place where you're going to you want to and need to scale your business to that next level, you may need to hire employees so that you can duplicate the scale of the services that you're providing. You may need to replace your old equipment or buy some new equipment. You may need to a marketing pay for marketing campaigns, whatever your need is for as a business to take it to that next level. You need capital to do that, and I think. I would say, Gilbert, that probably one of the most disappointing endeavors for our small business community is this whole loan process.
Yes, yes. Yeah, the loan process is really crazy. It is skewed against us small businesses. It's also skewed against minority and micro businesses. So you really need to have a system in place, guys, that is friendly to you and that will help you to navigate so you can obtain funds. So the loan part of it might not happen, but if you want a line of credit, guys, that's really what you should look at first. So that's what we're going to look at today, the checklist of documents for those things.
Okay. And so there's a few things that you do need to know and understand about being loan ready. So the banks, they look at the 5 C's of credit, and those 5 C's kind of help them guide through how they're going to underwrite the business, underwrite your request. One of those 5 C's is your character, and that character really applies to how you have managed and taken care of other debts that you've had. Your credit history, what does that look like? How are you at managing your money? Right. So that's very important. So that's the first C. The second C is capacity, and this refers to your cash flow. capacity, what it looks like, whether your business has the capacity to handle debt, um, and that debt being in the form of a new loan based upon the amount of revenue you're generating in your business. Very, very important. And this is something that I've seen actually in operation. Some people feel they get a loan to take care of their old debt. Have you seen that, Gilbert?
Oh yeah, definitely.
They're getting a new loan to service an old loan.
And sometimes that's not such a bad idea because the new loan might be at a lower rate than the existing loan. So let's say the existing loan is about 12%, and you
Mhm.
can get a loan at say 6 or 7%. That would be a good thing because then you get to pay off the existing one and you start a new loan, which your payment might be less than what the current loan is, but then you can pay more. You can pay more in your monthly payment so that you can pay that off quickly.
Right. But you do have to you have to be generating enough, a sufficient cash flow within your business so that you can cover the loan payments, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
that will jeopardize it. So, and and so understanding what the guidelines are in the particular state that you're doing business in is really, really important to
Mhm.
most people. The next C is capital. This is your contribution. How much um how much capital you have, how much contribution have you injected into your business, and in order to, it's not like they want to hand you money, and you ain't put nothing into your business. So
Right,
it's how much capital have you infused in your business prior to coming to them for assistance. So
right.
that's really, really important. Collateral. Um, this is a tangible asset that you have that can back up the loan that you're applying for. So having collateral, and collateral comes in many forms, but it's usually land, property, something that has some substantial value to it that can back up the loan. You want
And
to add anything
I
to
want
that?
to I want to touch on that a little bit, co-host. Now, collateral, in my experience, because I'm not going to point a finger, but in my experience, it seems as if many small businesses usually don't think about collateral. They don't think about what can be identified as collateral, what can be converted into collateral, and those are things you need to think about before you go to a lender to say, "Hey, I need your money," or if you're banking with them, I need my money.
A pet peeve of yours.
You want to make sure, man, that when you go there, you can say you have a good reason to ask for your money from them, right? So make sure you have some kind of machinery, property, a plan to building, or something to that effect. You may have a CD or some retirement funds that you may use to pledge as collateral. So think about that, guys.
And here's one, and I learned this from a lender myself. If you're in business and you're maintaining your account, your records through a reliable accounting system, not an Excel spreadsheet, but a reliable accounting system that you can generate invoices and track your accounts receivable. If you have some substantial accounts receivable on the books, they actually see that, they see that as collateral as well.
Yeah,
So if
yeah.
you are operating where you might have a couple 100,000, or whatever out there that's owed to you, the way the bank sees it is that is you've been invoiced, you guys have some sort of contractual agreement, so
Mhm.
therefore, unless there's complete catastrophe taking place, there's absolutely no reason that those dollars that have been invoiced and waiting for payment should not be received. That's how the lending system and the banking system looks at it. So, but that means you have to have a good accounting system, and either yourself, your CPA, a bookkeeper, someone that's helping you stay on top of that, and that you're tracking all the income coming in and tracking all the outgo going out of your business. And that also refers to your cash flow.
Right, right. And, that's a big reason, Guy, that I like it that my co host talked to you guys about receivables. Receivables, and when I mentioned to you earlier that even though you're doing transactional business, you want to focus on contractual business, the contract could be used as a form of receivable. Because if the contract is for a year, 2, 3, 5 years, that's receivable. That's money that's owed to you. You signed that agreement for 5 years. That means it's anticipated that you're going to be getting that kind of money, whether it's monthly or however, but that money is coming in. So when you go to a lender to get a line of credit or a loan, then you can use that receivable as collateral. If the contract is paying you 30 to 50,000 a month, and your loan payment is going to be, say, 1,500 or even 2,000, that's a good collateral for you to have. Because if you're getting 30 to 50,000, but you're only paying out 1,500 to 2,000, that's a positive um, uh, debt to equity ratio for you. So that's something, guys, you want to think about. Always look at contracts. We encourage our small businesses to obtain contracts. If they don't know how to do it, we can guide them and coach them.
Exactly, because that's taking your business to another level when you're not doing transactional business and you're doing contractual business. So much better for you as a business owner. Gives you the ability to forecast, because there's a contract in place, and so contracts can cancel, but you know what you're working with, as opposed to individual clients that you have to consistently market to in order to get them into your doors, and most importantly, to acquire them as an actual paying, and this is a very important word, paying customer.
I love it. I love it.
Not a looky-loo customer, a actual paying, or as my friend Rhonda says, she goes, get your money, get their money out of their pocket and into your pocket.
Yep, that's the goal, guys. That is the goal, to get other people's money into your pocket.
Exactly. And the final C is conditions. Understanding the details of the loan, and understanding when you go to ask for that loan, you have a very specific reason for what you're going to use that loan for. You don't just go to a bank and say, "Hey, I just need some money." You need to give them a real legitimate reason to do with that business. Is it going to grow your business? Is it going to help you hire employees that then will help you grow your business? It has to be for a very specific reason. And also, when a banker or an underwriter is talking to you, they have to know that they're speaking to someone that knows the industry that they're in.
That's
That
right.
you know the business that you're in. You've taken various types of training. You have technical assistants, you have business coaches, you have a team behind you that's
Yeah,
going to make sure that you are going to continue to do business, especially for the life of the loan,
yeah,
or during that process, whatever that loan is, whatever the terms of that loan is, that they know that you are going to operate your business to a certain standard. So that's very important to them. Banks they're not in the business just to hand out money just because they got it.
that's right. That's
All
right.
righty. So that's understanding what the banks are looking for for, and that's the basics before we even get to this list, before you actually go to even apply for that loan. So now from there, Miss co-host, we can talk about the overall readiness.
The
Now they
checklist.
can this can be found where this information, this checklist.
You can go to smallbizpro.net, and I'm going to put a link in the window, the chat window right now, guys, for you, so you can check it out. This is going to be really good for many of you. You be surprised the things that you learn in this platform. This platform really helps you. It prepares you for lenders. It prepares you for contracts. It prepares you to conduct business the right way. And it also prepares you so you don't miss out on any bills that you owe, any invoices that come in. So it's just an amazing tool, guys. You got to check it out. So we'll put the loan readiness link for you up in the chat right now, and you're going to love it. You're
All
going to love
righty. So we're gonna kind of that's the website there, smallbizpro.net.
it. Yeah.
And so now this readiness, where do I find this? Is it somewhere I can see it, or I would have to sign in?
Oh, I'm going to, you know what?
You want to go
Go,
in and
go,
do it?
go, go ahead and sign in. Here's the link I'm putting in the chat right now.
Oh, I think I have one. No, I don't
Okay.
have
Okay.
one.
Click the logo to the far left, the upper left. Click that
This,
logo
uh-huh.
and scroll down in the middle of the page.
Okay.
You see the 4 orange buttons right there. Down. Go down some more. Down some
All
more.
right there.
There you
Oh,
go.
loan
Click
readiness.
on loan readiness.
All righty.
There. And now it's going to ask you to enter your information in here, which is 8 cells. So go ahead and put your business in, and then where it says select a referral partner, you select Buchanan and Associates.
Okay.
When you select Buchanan and Associates, guys, that means it sends me a copy of that report also. So later on, you and I can do a one-on-one coaching session, and I can guide you on the no answers that you have so we can convert them into yeses.
Okay.
And then your industry, you put your industry over on the right side. It says select your industry. You select other if none of the 5 represent what you do. And then underneath that down below, you type in your actual industry.
Okay. So just a nonprofit organization.
Yeah.
All righty.
Then you click continue.
And then it takes
And
you
then
in.
when you click continue, oh, what happened there? Go back a little bit. Let me see what happened. Go back.
Oh, it says something I'm supposed to answer or yes.
Yeah. Click the back on the back button.
Oh, okay. Go back here.
I think you chose nonprofit. You just choose
Anything?
accounting or bookkeeping. Go ahead and do a drop to the left.
Oh, over here.
Yeah, where you have nonprofit, the structure, the legal structure. So
Oh,
you could do either a sole prop, you can do an LLC,
oh,
or
I see. Okay, so
yeah,
take this part out.
and
Okay.
and then now it will do it. You got to put something on there. Okay,
Oh, okay.
it allowed you. So now you can go to the questionnaire right here, and these are the types of questions, guys, that you're going to have to answer when you're dealing with a lender, you're dealing with a grantor if you're trying to get a grant, or a contract provider. So the first question is, do you have a filed fictitious business name?
And so what does that mean for those that don't have one?
So for those of you who don't have one, you don't know if you have one, a fictitious business name is, if you're a sole proprietorship, you want to go ahead and file with the county that you're in, whether it's Los Angeles, Riverside, San Bernardino, San Diego, or Ventura, any of those counties, right? Or any other county throughout the country. You want to check with them to find out what does it cost for you to file a fictitious business name or your DBA, and then based on that you go ahead and file it. Now after you file your DBA, guys, you have 30 days to publish it. So you got to publish it with a newspaper, one of the popular newspaper companies, whether it's a Times, whether it's the Journal, or whichever one you have as your newspaper company. So you gotta register with them so they can publish your filing of your DBA for 30 days. And then after that, you're official. You have an official. Now, the reason you're publishing with them is to show to the public that, hey, I am conducting business under this name. I am authorized to collect your money and take your money to provide you service or products. So I'm legitimate. That's what that is all about.
Okay. All right. So then you'd answer yes or no if you filed. If you
Yeah, if you
didn't,
filed, you'd say yes. If you didn't file, you put no. The
no.
reason you want to be truthful on this section because we're here to help you. We want to convert your no's into yeses. So all of the no's that you're going to have here because you don't have those documents, then we will sit with you one-on-one and coach you as to how to convert those no's into yeses.
Okay. The next question is going to ask you, do you have a business license?
Right.
And why is this important?
So business license is very similar to doing your fictitious business. Again, you're registering with the city in which you operate, and in some cases you register with the county. If you're not an incorporated city, like the city of Los Angeles, city of Alhambra, Pasadena, Santa Monica, then if it's a smaller town, a smaller city, that doesn't have its own mayor or its own city council, then you have to go through the county in which you operate to get a business license. So the business license gives you authority to conduct business legitimately and take money from customers. And then by registering that way, you are able to pay your taxes, business tax, at the end of the year to those entities, those cities or counties.
Okay. And then the next one would be your federal tax ID number.
Yes. So you want to have a federal tax ID or an EIN to operate because that's like the social security number of your business. It tells the IRS that this entity is conducting business and generating revenues. So therefore, at the end of the year, they're going to say, you generated this amount of revenue, you need to pay Uncle Sam this amount, as taxes. So that's what that number is about. So you have to get that, and each number is different. There's no two numbers that's the same. So when you get your EIN, it tags that business and says this business is represented by this number. Now, some people as sole proprietors, they try to use their social security number as their EIN number. I do not recommend, guys, that you use the social security as your EIN. Why is that? Well, because when you're conducting business multiple times, throughout the week or month or year, you're going to need to put that number on some kind of paperwork and give it to someone in some organization. Now, you don't know who those folks are. You don't trust them. You don't want to trust them with your social security number because they can take that number and go do all kinds of
Creative things.
creative things on your credit and run up your credit and you don't even know about it. So if you put your EIN, then it's going to be difficult for them to try to duplicate it, like they would with your social security number. So that's why you want to get an EIN, guys.
Well, I'm glad you said that because I was just getting ready to ask you that.
Yeah.
And the next question is, do you have collateral to pledge, which is assets, building, equipment, accounts receivable? So we just kind of talked about that.
Yeah, we just talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have any of those things to pledge for the loan you're going after, then you definitely want to mention that to the loan officer when you're talking to them, prior to filling out the form. And even during your filling out that form, you want to make a note on the application form that you do have collateral. And at some point, they may mention that on the form too. They may ask you what collateral you have to pledge. So you want to know the value of those collaterals too before you go in.
Okay. All righty. And so then next would be, do you have a written business plan?
Yes, because many contract providers or lenders, they'll want to ask you for that. Well, you have a business plan? And many small businesses will say, no, I don't have one. So now that loan officer is thinking, how can you run a business? You don't have a business plan. It's like having a GPS system. You're going to Arizona, you're going to Arizona. Do you know how to get there? How are you going to get there?
And what happens if there's a stop in the road? Do you have a
And you got
can
to
you
take a detour.
detour? Do you have a detour plan?
Exactly. So that's what the written business plan is all about. And it's a living document that needs to be updated every 6 months or every year, guys, because things change so much in the economy and in your business. Look at COVID. You remember COVID hit in 2020? It hit around about what, February, March?
Right.
And it took us, by surprise.
Right.
And so
And to be quite truthful, the businesses, we know we lost 448,000 businesses.
yeah.
But those businesses that were able to survive COVID, they had a plan. They kind of knew, because somewhere in that plan, you have what if X, Y, and Z happens, and what's going to be your plan then, right? So
even if they didn't have a plan, because they needed to put their business in a position to get funding, whether it's grants or loans, and those entities were asking for the plan, they quickly went and generated a business plan they can prove that they know where they're going.
Exactly, because you got to know where you're going. You can't get there if you don't know how you're gonna get there.
That's right.
All right, this one is an interesting one because most businesses don't even know that this even exists. Right. And it asks, do you have a Dun and Bradstreet number for your business?
Right. So the Dun and Bradstreet number, guys, is a 9-digit number that is similar to your EIN number that every business needs to have. Because when you're opening a bank account with a bank, that's one of the first things they ask you for. Do you have a Dun and Bradstreet number? And part of the reason for that is they do a quick check on your business to see if your business is a delinquent business, if it owes any of its creditors, if it owes any of its suppliers, that type of thing. So you want to know if this account I'm opening with this customer, is it a good risk or not? So that Dun and Bradstreet number is for that. Plus, it also helps you with your business credit. It does your business credit history. So that's another reason for having your Dun and Bradstreet business. So it helps helps the bank to vet you. It helps contract providers to vet you, and it even help your customers, or your suppliers to vet you to see if you're a good risk. So that's really what that is.
And one of the things that's kind of different, I have found from some of the clients that I've helped set their Dun and Bradstreet up, you provide them your vendor. You provide them, if you are in a retail type business and your vendors are, let's say, food, and your vendors are Pepsi and Coca-Cola and Lay's potato chips or whomever the backer, and these are the people that you're getting your products from, and you're paying them on a regular basis because you're getting the products to supply let's say you have a grocery store or store, then initially that's where that's coming from. Yeah. Unlike your FICA, you don't really have much say so on any of that.
Yeah, definitely. And that's a good point you brought up there, co-host, because establishing that business credit history for your business, it really helps to separate your personal credit score, which is measured by FICO, than your business credit score, which is a different business credit scoring system. So that's a really good point to bring up there.
Yeah, and you get to control it a little bit. You
get to control it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if you don't know these things, when you go to a bank to get a loan or a line of credit, they'll try to put your credit, your social security number on there and run a FICO score on you. Don't let that happen. That's like apples and oranges. You're trying to get a business loan or a business line of credit. That shouldn't be determined on your social security number or your business, your personal credit. So keep that Keep that
Keep
keep
that
that
keep
in
that in
mind.
mind. So, and it does not cost you to go and apply for your Dun and Bradstreet.
Right.
You can
It's
just go over and put your information in, so it doesn't cost you anything to do that.
right.
So it there's no reason why you shouldn't apply for your Dun and Bradstreet.
And
Uh,
and also, if you don't know how to find Dun and Bradstreet or anything like that, if you have Small Biz Pro, once you log in and get to the dashboard on the far left side, you will see a button called registrations. And you click on that and it will take you to the Dun and Bradstreet site. So you can go ahead, apply for your Dun and Bradstreet or do a search on your Dun and Bradstreet. See if anyone else is using your business's name.
That's really cool. So the next one is, do you have a business credit history? And that would obviously be with your Dun and
Yeah,
Bradstreet or as Expedion or TRW or any of those
yes.
individuals. So
And it's very important that you guys, again, like I say, separate the two. You want to have a business credit history instead of your using your FICO score, your personal credit history. You want to have them separate.
okay. Next one is your credit score above 75, 75 being the low, and no, let's see, 75 and 100. Is that what it is? Your business score above. Now, what does that's for your Dun and Bradstreet,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So
Okay.
so this is how the business credit score works, guys. With your FICO, it starts, I think, at 300 and it goes up to like what, 840 or 900?
Or yeah,
Okay.
900, I think.
So just like the FICO, the business credit score starts at 1 and it goes up to 100. Now, to have good credit with your FICO, I guess anything up to 680.
Yeah.
I mean, anything 680 and beyond is good, right?
Right.
So with your business credit, anything above 75 is good. So from 1 to 75 is not so good, not so decent. But 75 and beyond, like 76 and beyond to 100,
Mm.
that's good score. You know, I've been getting these calls lately from all these companies I don't even know offering me $300,000 credit. And I go, oh, I saw your business credit score to be 76. I'm going, 76? How did you know that? Well, they checked Dun and Bradstreet and they saw that it was 76. So I didn't even know that, right? So after I have 3 or 4 of them start telling me the same thing, I say, well, this must be true. Let me check. And it was at 76. I'm going, darn, I'm in a good position there.
Okay, so you've built up your business credit, so
Exactly.
that's exceptional. That's really really good. So
Exactly. And that's why you do not want to use your social security number or your personal FICO score when you're conducting business.
okay, good advice. So next is, do
Go,
you
go
know
ahead
your
and go
next?
ahead and check those boxes, Coho.
Oh, okay. Do you know your
Your NAICS codes.
your next
Yeah.
codes?
So a NAICS code is a 6-digit number that is assigned by the federal government to each business entity in the United States. Now, how did that number come into being? In 1995, when we had President Clinton, Clinton formed an agreement with the Mexican government and the Canadian government. So all three countries came together and agreed to assign NAICS codes to products and services. So before that, they had the SIC code, which was a 4-digit number.
Okay.
So by them increasing it to 6-digit, they expand the scope of the product and services because now you got 3 countries coming together instead of 1. So there's going to be a whole lot more products and services. You see what I mean? Being offered interchangeably to all these 3 countries. So that's why they came up with the NAICS code with 6 digits. So if you want to check your name, if you don't know what your NAICS code is and you want to check it, you can go to NAICS.com. Or, of course, you can go to my platforms Small Biz Pro. When you register, it will take you to the NAICS site. Okay.
And can you have more than one next
Oh
code?
yeah, you could have as many NAICS codes as you can. I generally recommend up to 6 or 7, no more than that, because then it start getting muddy, once you start doing that. But yeah, you want to have as many NAICS codes as possible, because a contract provider might need a service or a product in one of those 6 or 7 NAICS code areas, right?
Mm,
And if you didn't have that registered as one of yours, excuse me, then you might miss out on an opportunity. And the goal is not to miss out on any opportunity. It's like fishing with a line versus fishing with a net. You can catch a whole lot more fish with a net than you would with a line. With a
right,
line, you catch
exactly.
one fish at a time. So with the NAICS code, if you have 6 or 7 NAICS code and an opportunity comes in, then it makes it easier for you to get one of those opportunities at least.
Awesome. Fernando says, is your Paydex score? Is that, I've never heard of that one, but
Yeah,
Paydex, Pay.
Yeah, Paydex is one of the scores that they use also when they're doing the business credit score. Uh, so,
Okay.
so yes, Paydex is one of those, and that's assigned to your checks as well as it's assigned to the business activity. So yes, you want
Okay.
and and I want to talk about something that's not on this list, but it's something that's important to you, small businesses. Now, when you have an account with a bank and they give you checks and you write checks and something goes wrong with one of the checks, let's say there's insufficient amount in your account after you write a check, some banks will report you to the central registry. I think they call it um, check system or
Yeah,
something
check
like that.
system, something like that.
Right. So they'll report it to that. And that
Hmm.
stays on your record, I think, for about 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, it
That's
does.
not, how long does it stay, co-host?
I think 3 to 4 years.
3 or 4 years, right.
Hmm.
That's not a good thing, good look for you, because when you go to another bank to open an account, they may not want to open the account because the first thing they do is they check that check
That
system
check
to
system.
see,
Hmm.
yeah, to see if you've been reported on by any other banks for insufficient funds, writing bad checks, or something to that effect. Overdrawn,
Hmm.
constantly overdrawn your account. So you want to keep that in mind. So you have paychecks and you've got that check systems that you want to monitor.
Okay. All righty. So there you have it, guys. Next is your current ratio greater than 1.25 to calculate, you take your current assets over your current liabilities. And
Excellent.
why is this important, Gilbert?
Excellent. This is important, guys, because when you go to a lender, a bank, looking for money for your business, the first thing they look at is, beside your quick ratio, which is the next question down, they want to know, is your current ratio 1.25? Now, what that means is for every dollar that you bring into the business, they will allow you expenses of $1.25. So let's say I'm bringing in $50,000.
Mm-hmm.
I'm allowed expenses up to 125 for each dollar, each of that $50,000 in expenses. So that's how the bank measures you. They measure you in terms of that for
Mm.
your current ratio. And the calculation to that is you take your total current assets, which is on the left side of your balance sheet, and
Mm-hmm.
you divide it by your total current liabilities, which is on the right side of your balance sheet. And then whatever is left over, that's a ratio right there. So whatever is left over, it will be 1.25, it will be 1.26, 1.4, 1. But whatever, if it's more than 1.25, you're in good standing. If it's less than 1.25, then you're not in a good shape.
And I'm gonna make some points here on this one, Gilbert. So some people, especially when they don't, so the goal of a business is to generate revenue,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And so if you're not doing that, but of course your payables, your expenses are going to come every single month, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
some people are like, okay, I didn't put and I'm going to say this, that is kind of an effort, because there is a whole formula for being able to generate revenue for a business. You have
Yeah.
to obviously start with marketing and
Yes.
getting exposure and
Yes.
branding of your company, right?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
if people don't know you exist, they're
Hmm.
not going to be able to buy your product,
That's
right?
right.
That's why you're in business, is to
Yes.
generate revenue. And then you take that revenue, and you should have a break even point
Yeah.
on what it costs you to operate your business every single month, right?
Yeah.
And if you're looking at this not from a month to month, but from a full year, knowing exactly what it takes every month to generate revenue, you
Hmm.
shouldn't have to apply for credit card after credit card after credit card in order to pay for your expenses.
Right. Right.
Because what happens is, and I've seen this from an accounting standpoint. You do this and you have so much credit card debt, which is generally, it's a revolving credit card. It may not even be the appropriate credit card for
Right.
your business. And you could be in debt for the rest of your natural life.
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
And then you find yourself behind an 8 ball. And this is what I've seen with a lot of my clients, that they get desperate, right? So when you're desperate, anyone can come with a quick a get a get out of debt quick
Yeah.
solution,
Yeah.
and you find yourself prey to a predator.
Right. Right.
And so this is one of those. This could prevent you from having that 1.25, because your current liabilities are going to exceed your assets,
Yeah.
because you've been using your assets as your income to pay for your expenses.
That is so true, man. So true. So true.
And I see so many businesses get in that position. So I always recommend you guys have to increase your revenue, pay off that debt. I mean, if that debt's been sitting there for, on your balance sheet, that liability for 5, 10, 15 years, you got to get rid of it. So you got to bite the bullet. You got to make some sacrifices to get rid of, or go and find someone that can help you consolidate that debt, so you have you're not, all your monies is not going toward paying off revolving credit card lines, as opposed to, I would have rather you gone to get a line of credit
Yeah.
than a
Exactly.
credit card.
Because the interest rate is much lower on the line of credit than it is on the credit. Credit card, you can get up to 25% interest rate. Some are doing 30, 29, and 30% now, which
Yeah.
is which is scandalous. I don't know why the government allows that, but that's scandalous and predatory. And there's no way, if you get a 29 or 30% interest rate on a credit card, and the credit card say is for 10 years, there's no way you can pay. You'll be paying on it for the rest of your life for like at least 30 years. At
30
least
years.
30 years.
You
So yeah, so
you won't even be in business any longer.
that's right. That's right.
But you still will be paying on that credit
You're
card.
still paying
So
on it. Even when you're dead, you still
somebody's
make
paying
the
on it.
payment.
You left that to your descendant, to your descendants. So
Yeah,
that's really, really important, guys. Credit is something that you have to think about. You don't just, because they make it available to you, you
yeah,
have to really, really think about how you're going to use it.
yes.
And you don't use it without understanding, the longevity of the liability.
So in business, credit is very important. It's important that you have access to cash or credit, right?
Uh-huh.
Access, and that will always be other people's money, not your money. You don't want to use your money when you're running your business, because if you use that, guess what you're doing? You're using up any capital that you have in the business, any equity, cash equity that you have. So that minimizes the value of your business. And I often tell my clients that think about your business as if you're going to sell it next month.
Mm.
Do you want to get the best value for your business, or you just want to get the bare minimum because you didn't understand credit and you didn't understand how to set up your business? Everything in your business should have a value. Everything. The business itself, your revenues, your income, the name of the business, the slogan that you use, all of those things should have a value. If you have any patents, any trademark, that should have a value for your business, guys.
Right. So that's very, very important. So if you guys don't take anything away from today, take that away from really think about the whole credit process. But your focus should be on generating revenue.
Yeah.
And when you apply for a loan, it should be, I think my recommendation to my clients is when you're applying for a loan, it should be have the capacity to help you increase your revenue, which could be through marketing, it should be through employees, but it should be buy new equipment that also will help you generate more revenue
Yeah.
or increase your product lines. So again, everything should be based upon generating more revenue. That,
Yeah.
in my opinion, that's the only reason you need a loan. That's my opinion.
Exactly. Exactly. And just remember this, guys. This is probably something that most small businesses never think about, but I want you to think about this and remember this from us here on the Business Zone. There are three ways, guys, that money enters your business. Three ways. One, the first one is through sales, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how you receive revenues into the business. The second way is through a loan or a line of credit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Money
Mm-hmm.
entering to the business. And the third way is to have an equity injection either from an investor or someone else who decide to invest in you or your business or your products. Okay,
Which is
those
a
are the
cash
three
flow.
ways that money enter your business. So when you're thinking of running your business, you always want to think of those three ways. Which of these three ways am I using to generate revenues from my business? And the one that you should pick first is sales, guys. Sales, sales, sales. You gotta sell. Okay, that's your first choice.
That's your first choice.
Yes,
You must do that. It
you
has to.
must do
You
that.
must do that. And so so the next one is your number 11 is your quick
Quick ratio.
ratio above 125. And
Yes.
the formula is to take your total assets, excluding inventory, prepaid expenses or supplies, and divide it by your total your current. Now, what's the difference?
So the difference is the first one with your current ratio, it includes inventory, prepaid expenses, and suppliers, supplies and
Okay.
all of that. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's a difference right there. So with this one, you take those out and then you do the division. That's when you divide your liabilities into assets to see if you're at the 1.25 or better.
Okay.
Right. Now, quick ratio is really they call it an acid test. That's when you go to the bank. That's the first thing they do. They say, how are your expenses? Or how is your revenue? And you say, well, it's been good. It's been good. That's all right. We'll do a quick acid test on you. And that's the first thing they do. They take your current assets, say, oh, let me see your balance sheet real quickly. So they look at what your total assets is on the balance sheet and the total liabilities, bam, 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 and do a quick calculation and get the ratio. And they say, okay, well, you look like you're under 1.25, so we can't talk to you today. There's another bank across the street. You might want to go talk to them.
Right toe. So understand that, guys. That's why it's important to have a good team, financial team, and to have an accounting system, because if you have a QuickBooks or Wave or FreshBooks or whatever it is you're using, Gusto, whatever it is, you can actually see that, provided that you have someone that is really competent at doing your bookkeeping. But I always say, I am of the mindset now, you should first understand, you're the first level of understanding before you actually hire someone from outside. Because if you don't understand what they're doing, trust me, I have made a lot of repairs and helped a lot of folks in the last month or so because they did not understand the whole financials and bookkeeping and,
Yeah.
and all of that. And then they need money. And so they're asking questions. Even I have certain people that they didn't understand what the bookkeeper was doing. Their taxes was based upon taxes was filed based upon that those reports, and now they got some problems because
Yeah.
when you go to the bank is going to scrutinize every line item.
Exactly. And see, this is one of the things that we talk about all the times. And with a quick ratio and the current ratio, if you don't have your fingers on top of that, then you can look very stupid in front of a lender, because they know many small businesses don't understand the current and quick ratio, so they ask them that, and as soon as I see them stumbling, they go, "Oh, this business owner is an idiot. They don't know what they're doing." You see
Right.
what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So
And
that's why we go the extra mile in Small Biz Pro, to help educate you. So when you go in front of loan providers or loan officers, you can speak with authority, and the system breaks it down for you when you have this. So I don't know too many other systems out there that educate entrepreneurs about their current ratio and their quick ratio. I don't know any. I don't know any. You
yeah,
know,
that may or
there
may
might be
not.
there might be certain classes, co-hosts out there that they talk specifically about, but I don't know any. So
Well, I know most of the time the classes, when you're going to those um, capital, access to capital, they're
yeah,
just pretty much going through the basics.
the
They're not
basic,
going
yeah,
into any details and
yeah,
general. And when they usually get to the credit question,
yeah,
they lose everybody in the room at that point anyway.
exactly.
And so, because they're not going into real fine detail on what that really, really, truly
Right,
means.
right.
That's been my experience.
Yes,
Um, and so I don't know about anybody else's, but when I've attended those and I look around the room and absorbing the small business community, the small businesses that are there, because they don't understand what they were supposed to do prior.
exactly.
They weren't prepared
They,
for.
they're not prepared for that. And that's why we prepare them, so they can puff up their chests and go in front of these loan officers and say, "Hey, I know what my current ratio is. I know
Mhm.
what my quick ratio is. Let me show you." Because
Right,
in Small
exactly.
Biz Pro, you can print that quick little ratio, the calculations, and show. Because you know what I learned also, co-host? Many of those bank tellers, the ones who sit with you, they have no clue about current ratio and quick ratio. You see
Right,
what I'm saying? Because I've
exactly.
asked them before. I said, "So, what type of quick ratio and current ratio you're looking at?" They go, "Huh?" I said, "Quick ratio and current ratio. You know about that, right?" Let me go talk to my manager. I'm going, "What the heck?
Right, exactly.
You're talking about money and making decisions and small businesses getting loans, and you don't even know that? That's like the basics."
Well, Gilbert, and that's when I have to say, as a business owner, you really truly need to have a relationship with the bank that you're banking with. If you're
Yes,
putting your
yes,
money there, then that way you know exactly who they are and they know who
yes.
you are, right?
We
But
agree.
if you just are dumping money into a bank account and you have no relationship with the bank that you're supporting,
Yeah,
uh, and and all those other customers that you're providing loans for. And but then when you go to apply for a loan, they tell you no, because they don't know you from Adam. You're a number.
exactly.
So it's really, really important that and this is a good time to do that, because at some point banks are going to be all online and
Yeah,
it's going to be more difficult to acquire. But part of the whole loan process is having a relationship with the bank that you're doing business with.
right. That is so true, man. So true.
All
So
right. Next question is number 12. Do you have business and personal tax returns for the last 3 years?
that is so important, guys. You want to make sure you stay on top of your tax return filings with your tax preparer. Make sure, even if you're late with your filings, you want to make sure that that person gets it out, do an extension, get it out, file it with Uncle Sam, so you have it on record. Banks do not like it when you don't file taxes. They do not like it when you underinflate your taxes that you're paying. They don't like that, because they're going, man, this person is hiding money. How can I trust them with my money if they're not doing what they're supposed to?
And
So
and and that's another thing right there is here's a thing. That's why you have to have a team. If you're planning on, or if you know at some point down the line that you're going to need an infusion of cash to take your business to that next level, here's what happens when you go to a tax preparer. Not to say that they're not licensed, they are. They're actually governed now to do that. But if you go to a person and say, hey, I don't want to pay taxes, that's exactly what they're gonna do. They're gonna provide a tax
exactly.
return that shows that you made no money, or at least
Yeah.
not enough money to pay taxes on,
Right.
right?
Right.
So then 4 or 5 years down the line, 3 years, in fact, because you need 3 years of tax returns, you go to your bank and you say, I need to get money. I need to all my equipment has broken down and I need to buy new equipment. And they're gonna look at your tax returns and say, you haven't made any money.
Exactly.
You made money. You
Right.
just told your tax person, you wanted to pay the least amount in taxes. And
Right.
so if that's the case, then you're going to have a quandrum, because they want to see that you've made some money, at least
And
enough
make a
money,
profit.
a
Yeah.
profit that you can pay. You have an excess
You can pay the
over
loan.
the loan, excess over X amount of dollars every month so that you can pay the loan, right?
Yeah.
So the better strategy is to go sit down with your CPA, your whomever, and say, okay, this is where I'm going to be, or I'm going to need. That's why the business plan is important. I am going to need X amount of dollars, say in 5 years. So what do we need to do with my taxes? How do we need to file my taxes with that thought process or that
Yeah.
strategy in mind,
Right.
what I'm going to need in 3 years?
Yes.
So, and then they should be able to help you at that point. But don't just go to them telling them, hey, I don't want to pay taxes, because that's exactly what they're gonna do. They're gonna
See,
produce a tax return that says I don't want to pay taxes.
the thing about it is, here's a strategy, guys. You don't pay taxes. Well, you don't show a profit, then you don't get a loan.
Right.
You show a profit, then you're more likely to get the loan because you're showing that there's profit in the business, just enough to pay back this loan. So that's how you got to look at it, guys. You show a loss and you don't show a profit, it's going to be tough for anyone to give you money, because even investors now are looking at that. They're going, so you've lost money over the last 2-3 years, huh? How are you going to get that money back? Even on Shark Tank, they do that. On
Yeah.
Shark Tank, people go pitch in their business, say, did you make a profit last year? No. Did you make one the year before? No. When are you going to break even? I don't know.
Exactly. Give me some money and I'll learn. I'll know how
Yeah.
to do that. Right.
So
So
they're
no,
going,
that
I don't think I want to invest in this business.
right. And then the next one that corresponds to that one is um do you have business financial statements, which is a balance sheet and profit and loss for the last 3 years? Now
Yes.
these should look very similar to your tax returns,
Yes. Yes.
because that's where the information should have come from.
Yeah. And the thing is, some people think that their financial statements can look one way and the tax return look another way. A smart banker will pick up on that real quickly, because the first thing they do is when they ask you, what's your annual revenue? And
Right.
on your financials, it's saying you make 500,000 a year, but then it look on the tax return and see you make 150,000. It's a loss. They're going, these don't jive. These
Right,
don't
exactly.
jive.
Yeah, so the tax, so very, very important. Again, gotta have a good accounting system, and you have, because they don't know.
Yeah.
They know if you're playing around. So I've actually had to, and you have to, that person have to know what they're doing. I've had several clients that bookkeeper actually confused their equity draws with other expenses. That's the first
Oh
time I've
Lord.
ever seen that in all of my forensic years.
You know, this goes to show, man, that some of those bookkeepers out there, they really don't know what they're doing. And that's why as a business owner, you got to know a little bit about the financials of your business so you can ask them questions.
Right.
How come there's parentheses on these numbers? What's going
Right.
on? Because
Right.
that always means that there's money going out of the business.
Well, and I always, if I, that's all I have to do is the first thing I have to do, yeah, especially if I haven't help them set up their financials. First thing I do is let me look at the financials, and then I'll go, okay, there are negatives in your P&L. There should never be a negative in your P&L.
Right.
Not in the body of the P&L. Not under the expenses and not under the revenue. What's happening here? And then when I click it open and I'm like, oh, so this shouldn't be posted here. This shouldn't be posted there. This, and they're like, how do you know this? Because I
That's what
know.
you do.
That's what I do. So this shouldn't be here. This shouldn't be here. This shouldn't be here. This shouldn't be here. And then when you get done, it's like you are magicians. Like, oh my God, thank you. Yeah. Okay.
It's like someone getting a haircut and it's got jacked up. They bring you in to fix it. You come in and fix the hair. That is crazy.
Oh, Lordy have mercy, but it happens. It's real, guys. I ain't making this stuff up. Okay, so next one. Are you an authorized signer on the company's bank account?
That's very important, guys. Very important. If you're the business owner, you got to be the authorized signer. You can't be the business owner and having someone else who may be, an officer or low level person in the company being that person, because then if the bank is going to lend you money, they're going to go, well, if this person is signing on the bank account, they could take all the money out of it. You don't even know.
Right. Until you go to need it. And then you're
Yeah.
like, and trust me, this happens. These are not like hyperbole here. These things happen.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're like, oh, did you know that you have no money in your bank? What are you talking about? Yeah,
That
that's
is
what
so
happened.
true.
It,
Everything we're going over, guys, this is real stuff. We might be joking around with it, but this is real stuff, serious stuff that you guys need to look at and think about. If you don't understand what we're talking about, set up an appointment with Crystal and she can go over this with you guys. You understand? And I'm sure she has her consulting time and fees, so you guys can set something up and go over this, but she's not going to knock you over the head, okay?
exactly, exactly. Next one, is your debt to asset ratio less than 25%? What does that mean?
So debt to asset means that you're allowed 25% of your debt to all the assets that's coming into the business. So if, let's say, 100%, you have 100%, put it this way. If 25% of your assets is debt, then that's not so good for you. It has to be less than 25%, because that means you have more money to spend, more money as collateral. So if you have 20%, that's good. You have 15%, that's good. But if you have 25% or more, and I know a lot of small business that their debt is like 30% of their assets. No good. No good.
Mm.
So that's something you want to know, guys. And that's why the Small Biz Pro work for you, because it calculates these things for you automatically. You put the information from your balance sheet on here, and it just calculated so quickly.
And the next one again, this refers back to your accounting system. Does your company have a 3-year projection and loss profit and loss projection? So this is
Right.
forecasting what the potential income generation is for your business for the next 3 years. Not
That's right.
guessing, not finding out how much money you made at tax time, but actually knowing what you want your business to do to produce in revenue, and making sure you're doing everything that it takes throughout the year to meet those goal points.
Exactly. And this is really good for your business growth, because let's say this year you're going to make 250,000. So you want to make sure there's a growth next year and the year after next and then the year after next. Those are the next 3 years we're talking about here. So if you're projecting that I made 250 last year, so this year I want to make 300,000, and the year after that I want to make 350, and then the following year 400,000. That's a good projection right there based on your expenses, your income, your revenues, all of that stuff. So that's something, guys, all of you small businesses need to have in your system. And again, Small Biz Pro does that for you guys effortlessly. You don't even have to think about it. Just plug the numbers in, bada boom, bada bang. It gives you those results. So you can take that to the bank or the lender and say, hey, I'm borrowing this amount because these are my projections for the next 3 years. We're making 250 right now, but I'm sure in 3 years we're going to be making 400,000. The line of credit or loan might be for 3 years, so you're showing that you can pay that money back within 3 years.
Awesome. And then next is does your company have a 12-month cash flow for the current year? So again, accounting systems can give this information. So as Giver mentioned earlier, the cash flow represents those three ways money it comes into your business.
Yeah.
It's either through revenue, it's either through loan equity infusions, or it's coming through because you've actually had other loans that are helped. That's the way the money comes in, and then it's a matter of how throughout the year, how that money has flowed through your business.
Yeah.
Cash flow is the number one killer of all businesses. If you have lack of cash flow, your business will die. It can die an excruciating death, or it can die a quick and fast and in a hurry death. It can be rapid or it can be excruciating. It just depends on how long you want to prolong the pain.
And think about it this way, guys. If you got a garden, you got some plants in your garden or vegetable, right? And you water those vegetables every day. You give it just a certain amount of water that will help it grow. That's a good thing for you. That's the cash that's coming into your business, your cash flow right there. But if you have a heavy influx of water coming in and overwatering those veggies and plants, then it can kill it. That's a fast death that my co-host is talking about.
That's all I can tell you guys. I do a workshop with Vermont Slauson on cash flow. So it is the lifeblood of your business, and it can, just like in your body, if you have a lack of flow of oxygen and lack of flow of blood, that's it for you. Same thing happens to your business. So all joking aside, is important.
Oh yeah. See, we're making these jokes, guys, so you can do a correlation with real life situations that you deal with every day. So once you see the significance and you see how not having certain things, how it can kill you or get rid of you, it's the same thing with your cash flow.
Exactly. Do you have a completed personal financial statement? They call it a PFS, or or is it PNWS, which is actually your own personal. How much money? This is your expenses, your personal, not the business.
Not the business.
How much money, earnings you have, and then what your personal liabilities are and obligations, because you're basically the guarantor of your loan. So if your net worth is worth zero, and your company is not all that stable either, that might be a little problem for you to get that loan, especially if they don't know who you are and you guys are just building up this new relationship. So very, very important.
And we have at least 2 lenders, guys, that we can recommend you to. 2 lenders that's really good for small businesses. One of them is they can give you a loan without interest rate. So just keep that in mind. So if you need any of that, reach out to my co-host Crystal or myself, and we can look at do an assessment with your business real quickly, just like this one you're looking at, to see if you're ready or not. And if you're not ready, then we help to prepare you so you can be in a position to get those loans or lines of credit.
Yeah, exactly. And we're coming down to our last through. So we've been on for a little bit, but
Yeah.
does your company have a business line of credit? So you can answer that question, yes or no. Is that important, or is that an option or luxury, or what is that, Gilbert? Why is
So
that question
having a
asked?
business line of credit is really good for your business because that means you have access to funds when you need it. You never want to wait until you need money to go to the bank to get it, because that's when they turn you down. Bankers have told me that before. They said, if you wait to come to us for money when you actually need it, then we're going to turn you down, because that's not good planning. You should have planned for this before. You should have had access to a line of credit that you can use when you need it. So you need to go after money when you don't need it.
Yeah,
Okay?
that's usually the same. If you don't need money, then they'll give you money. If you need money,
Exactly.
they definitely tell you no.
Exactly. And the next thing, real quickly, before we go to the next question here, is make sure you have about 2 or 3 credit references that you can have that ready, because they're going to ask you for that. They're going to say, I want to check some credit references. Sure, not a problem. You have 2 or 3, that's a good thing. So if you're purchasing supplies from a supplier, you can use that supplier as a reference. If you guys buy stuff as a business owner from Costco's, you can use Costco's as a credit reference as well, because you're buying stuff from them all the time. They know your credibility. They have their credit card that they issue to their members as well. So keep that
Right.
in mind.
And then the next question is, the final question is, are you using your personal name for the business instead of your fictitious business name doing business as?
And that's important, guys. We talked about this earlier. If you're using your personal name as a business, when you go to get a line of credit or a loan, they're going to put in your personal name. That's not good for you, because should something go down, they're coming looking for you, and they're going to put a lien on your house and all of that good stuff. Now, if you have a business, you can get business insurance where you can use the insurance to divert any liens or any other liabilities that can be imposed on your business itself. But you want to separate the two, man. Get a fictitious business name. It's its own entity. It's not you anymore. And that's how you want to do that.
Right. So basically, just like I tell people in accounting, or in when I talk to them about this, don't start to separate yourself from your business.
Yeah.
Not commingling your expenses.
Right.
Separate. If your entity is XYZ company and you're mail over here,
Yeah.
it shouldn't be mail XYZ. Eventually, the company has to stand on its own, because
Yeah.
at some point you may want to sell this company, right?
Yeah.
Or you want to retire from this company. The company shouldn't just go away because that's you, unless that's who it
Right.
is. But
Yeah.
you want to create a separate entity, especially if you guys are incorporated and have S corps or C corps. You are an employee of that company. You're
Yeah.
not the company. And so you want to be able to establish, you want to think like that. You want to think, this is a company that I'm building, and have a reason why you're building that company. What's your strategy, your succession, your exit strategy?
Mm-hmm.
And if you have one of those, then you're actually thinking along those lines all along. So that's what you have. Fernando says,
Go ahead. I was gonna say the owners of Google, I'm sure they're not called Google. So
no, they're not called Google, and
Google.
they probably are not the original dudes in the first place. They've had many successions of CEOs. So whoever the original dudes are, those original dudes are already gone on, with the exception of a few companies out there. But you can bet that Zuckerberg is not being his personal finances are not tied up anywhere near Facebook.
Not at all. Not at all.
Okay.
What did Fernando say?
This is great information, guys.
Excellent. Excellent. See, this is what we do, Fernando, and everyone else who's watching right now. That's why we have class in session, and we got to do it so small businesses can know exactly what is it they need to do and get the coaching they need.
And there you have it now. Once if you've answered all the questions correctly, then you would have your score, and then you would feel confident you would go to apply for your loan that the
Exactly.
that
So
the
to be
out
ready, your score got to be 100%. But here we have the score, and the score we look at most is the one in the salmon area, that pinkish salmon area. That's
okay.
the score we look at because that's your minimum readiness score. So we're at 93% versus 100%. So you're 7 points shy of the 100% of readiness. So what you got to do is go back and look at all the no answers in the first 15 questions and see which of those are no's, and then we'll do something to convert them from no's to yeses, because maybe it will ask you, do you know your NAICS goals, or your Dun& Bradstreet number, or your quick ratio, your current ratio. It could be one of those that you don't know. So by the time we sit with you and go over it, and now you understand it, you go back and you take this test. Now you can say yes to that because now you know the score, which should take you to 100%.
Exactly. So there you go. Number one, another reason why you would want to actually check out Small Biz Pro, um, because this is the platform that you can use that can let you know how ready you are for loans, contracts, as well as business readiness. We
Exactly.
want you to be operating as a successful business and not to be guessing at what's going on, but to actually know what's going on in your business.
Exactly. And we know today we went a little bit over, guys, but it was worth it to roll this out, this loan readiness assessment scorecard out for you guys to better understand what is it you need to do when you're going off the lines of credits and loan. We know that 2026, we're going to have the FIFA World Cup here. 2028, we're going to have the Olympics. So we want to make sure you guys are actually ready to have some funds available to you that you can access if you need to hire employees, you need to buy equipment, etc., etc. And
Okay.
I want to say to my co-host, happy birthday to your mom, co-host. I didn't
Ah,
even I didn't even realize it. I see it
yeah.
scrolling down below. I said, man.
Yeah, my mom's birthday, she's in heaven. So it's a heavily birthday to my mom. Today she was born on June 2nd. So thank you, co-host. A couple things before I jump off. I want to congratulate the graduates. I went to a couple of graduations in the last over the last week or so. So one
Uh-huh.
of my clients, Nia Porter, graduated from high school. She is going to college in New York. So
Very
I'm proud
nice.
of her. So she's excited. And I went to a graduation yesterday of my close friends, their family actually. Their son graduated from high school in at University High in Irvine, and it was a beautiful graduation. And so I want to congratulate Chauncey McAllister. He is so happy to be out of high school. So now we just got to get him prepared for that next level of adulthood. The journey begins, but it was a beautiful graduation. And so I want to congratulate all graduates that are graduating from high school and college this year. We are just, I'm sure your parents are very proud of you, and any of your supporters and mentors are as well. So
Definitely, definitely. I think this is a great milestone in the lives of teenagers, when they get to graduate, because not only do they get to graduate, because now they're at a fork in the road, so they're wondering, do I go to the left side of the fork or the right side of the fork? And that could be a pivotal moment for them in their lives.
it can be. And I remember, because I mean, if you're going to college and you're getting away from your parents, that's a journey all by itself, and you've been looking and striving for your independence.
Yeah.
Or college could be the most scariest thing on the planet.
Oh, yes.
so, so it's another. So the next 4 years, will be another journey of the life. But I will say this: I put something on Facebook this morning when I was congratulating Chauncey on being a graduate, and it's just that our children are our future. And so it seems very bright when I go to graduations and I see these young people, and they are actually all excited about what the future holds for them. And I remember when I was that age, it just looked like the whole world was at your feet at at
Hmm.
at 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 17 or 18 years old, and life was
Right,
really starting to begin right for you.
right,
And
right.
so I was sitting there watching Chauncey go, walk across the stage, and I was like, oh boy, I remember what that looks like, what that felt like when I was at 17. Actually, I was 18 when I graduated because my birthday's in May, and it just felt like the future was so bright, and that I could go out and just set the world on fire. And so, very exciting,
You
just
know, you
very
know,
exciting
you
as a
know what's
teenager,
amazing, co-host?
huh?
I never ever walked across the stage. I never did.
Really?
I never did.
Even
So
at college?
even at college, man, because in high school, let me see what happened. I never went to graduation in high school.
Oh
They, they,
wow!
they mailed me my certificate, and in college, I never walked across the stage either. I really wanted to, but I didn't because I was in Mississippi at the time. Because I went to school in New York, upstate New York, in Binghamton,
Okay.
New York.
Oh, and
So
then you left to go to work
I,
in
I
Mississippi.
left to go work in Mississippi. I left like 8 months, no, 4 months before I graduated. So I went to Mississippi to go run a career center down there. You know,
Oh
so
wow!
they're sending me pictures, showing me because they had some older folks in my class. Like, these women are like 69, and some guys are like 50, attending class and graduating. I'm going, man, I'd like to walk across the stage with those folks, but I was never there. So
Oh
again, they
wow!
mailed me my certificate again.
Oh wow! Yeah, it's a pretty. And I was talking. So my girlfriend's, her family's all from. They're all from South Africa. So
Yeah,
in South Africa, they don't do that either. They don't really. The high school is not done that way.
right, right.
College is done that way, but
Yes,
but high school is not done that way.
yeah,
So that was really their first time
right,
watching and seeing a graduation. And so
right.
but I do remember mine, and of course my two nephews graduate, or one nephew graduated from undergrad and his master's program, so we were at both graduations. And
Yeah,
the youngest one is actually graduating in November, so we will go back, he will come home.
yeah,
They're not going to walk until the next, how you graduate in the end of the year, but they're not going to walk until the next year, which is
right,
probably what happened to you. But we'll
right.
all go back to see him get his certificate. Trenton, the oldest one, we actually went to both of we went to both of those when he
Right.
got his we went to Houston and we went
Yeah.
to Ohio. So that was really cool. So um
Mhm.
so I'm gonna end the show today with: education is our passport to the future for tomorrow, and it belongs to those who prepare for it for today. So very, very important, especially where we are in this world that we live in, knowing that education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. So it's so important for our young people to understand how they have to continue on their education, and even for us as seasoned people, it might not be academic education, but we should always continue to fuse in and learn and continue to learn about your business, about your industry, because that is a very powerful weapon that you can actually change your world, your communities, and your family.
That's true. I totally agree. I totally agree. One last thing I want to add to that is somehow, some way in the minority community, we need to learn or find a trailblazer that is willing to invest in our education. So when we go to college, or when our kids go to college, we don't have to take out student loan from those big old um, blood sucking organizations that that give us these student loans at high rates, and then they drag it out all over the years, and you end up, what you end up spending back on the loan you get is enough to pay off a mortgage. We don't want that anymore. So if we can get someone in a minority, well, a few people in the minority community that's willing to invest in our education, then our kids won't end up with that big old debt saddled on their backs like I did,
And still have.
and still do, So I want to put it out there, man. If there's any minority philanthropists, entrepreneurs, investors out there listening, let's find a way to fund the education of our kids so that they don't end up being saddled with these outrageous, criminal, sharky student loans that they can't afford to pay back.
Exactly. It is. It's a burden. They come out of school with a big burden, and before they've even started the process, and as you said, Gilbert, can carry you through your entire life. So yeah, we have to find a different way of getting our kids educated.
You know that a lot of kids right now are not thinking about going to college because they're going, okay, I'm spending $100,000 or more on my education. When I come out, what kind of jobs do I get? I'm getting a job paying $30,000, maybe $40,000 a year. That's not an incentive for me to go to college, and it's true.
It is. Yeah, I didn't incur loans. I kind of did mine. It took a while, but I kind of paid it as I went along until the class. So I did a little bit different because I didn't want
And then there's organizations, after you finish paying off the loan, they're still trying to charge you like they're doing me right now.
Yeah, right, exactly, because it's predatory.
It's predatory, yeah.
You are so welcome, Fernando. Please come back next week. And Michelle, thank you for the hand clap. I hope you guys have gotten a lot from this information. We're going to edit it up a little bit, and so it can be more digestible for others to read it. I mean, to listen to it. But thank you, guys. So with that, Gilbert, you ready to sign off?
Oh, yeah, I'm ready to sign out. And folks, all of you who are listening right now, I want you guys to call us and become a guest on our show. I know you're an entrepreneur. You're kind of sneaking and watching the show, and you kind of evaluating it, going, I have that. No, I don't have that. You're afraid to come talk to us. We're not going to shame you. We're not going to embarrass you. Set up a meeting, guys. Come on the show, be a guest, so we can celebrate your business and let the world know how wonderful of an entrepreneur you are. Mr. Fernando, I'm speaking to you.
Fernando, yeah, you can repost it and send it over to just take a link and just share it. It's actually on the Business Zone on the YouTube channel. You can actually just copy the link and just share it on wherever you want to share it.
Definitely.
Okay, and anyone else that's listening. So we want to sign off, you guys. Welcome to the month of June. I am no longer celebrating my birthday month, so it's ended.
Right now you're celebrating your mom's birthday.
Yeah, I'm celebrating mine. And actually, my mom, my grandmother, my brother, my aunt, they're all born in the month of June, so I'll celebrate for them.
I get you, co-host.
All right, co-host, we're going to sign off, everyone. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you next Friday at 3:00.
That's right. See ya.
As a small biz pro, I saw we roll, using procurement, program, and control. As a small biz pro, I saw we grow, using procurement, program, and control. I'm a businessman.